A friend of mine was on welfare after going through a bad experience. She and her husband became ill. They couldn't work for a while, and they went on welfare. After they both became physically well, he said, look here, we don't ever have to go back to work. We're making more money on welfare than we made when we were working, with all the Medicaid benefits and all of the food stamps and everything. She said, no. She said, we are not going to accept the checks anymore. He said, I'm not going to work. Now, you can go to work if you want to. She went down to the welfare department and said, don't send any more checks to my house. Lady said, excuse me? She said, now I've been working here 25 years. No one has ever come in here and said, don't send any more checks here. Are you sure you're all right? Yes, I am. And she went home and told her husband, don't look for any more checks because I told them to cut the check off. Now we've got to find something to do. And they started a paper route and got over 1,500 customers and were making money hand over fist in a spirit of dignity and achievement, not ripping anybody off. That was a critical choice. She could have very easily said, well, everybody else is doing it. Why don't I do it? But she decided not to follow the crowd.
If you clicked on this video, you're already ahead of the majority because you're looking for growth. Welcome to Epic Motivation. Let's get started.
I like what Whitaker said, what you think about me is none of my spiritual business. So when you're keeping integrity with yourself, you know that's going to bring you under a lot of pressure. The next thing is, don't try to cut a bargain with life. Life is not Donald Trump. Life will not give you any special deals because you maintain a sense of integrity. There are no deals. You've got to do what you do because, not with any ulterior motives, that you're going to get some special benefit or some special treatment in the universe. No. Doesn't mean that somebody might not steal your car while you're trying to do some good for somebody. No, there won't be any special light around your car. They will take your car too. All the good people, you're going to go too. You've got to do what you do because that expresses who you are and for no other reason. They might not have a banquet to recognize you or give you a special little plaque and dedicate a day in your name. No, do what you do because that's you. The next thing is dedicate your life to something. Dedicate your life to a cause larger than yourself. See, if you dedicate your life to a cause larger than yourself, you're not following in the crowd. See, if your life is not dedicated to something of value, and I like what Howard Thurman said, he said, the quality of life is often determined by that to which the individual is dedicated. If the dedication of the life is vague and diffuse, the quality is apt to be poor and weak. There is much to be said for the intensity of life. See, most people are not intense about living. Most people are very casual about life. They haven't found anything to become intense about. So when you dedicate your life, you don't care anything about the odds. Somebody say when the dream is big enough, the odds don't matter. See, when you dedicate your life, you bring on a special power. There's a power in you that people, circumstances, events, and I'm not talking about the physical you, I'm talking about the real you, the indestructible, invincible, perfect essence of who you really are, that can bring a government to its knees, that can change the course of history. When you dedicate your life like a Nelson Mandela, who has decided to sacrifice his freedom, all he has to do is say whatever the government wants him to say, and they'll let him go free. And he can go to a foreign nation and say, I just said that because I've been in prison for over 20 years. And nobody would say, well, Nelson, you sold out. No one would say that. They would say, wait a minute, Nelson, you gave over 20 years of your life. What more can we ask of you? It's okay. But because of his integrity with himself, and he's dedicated his life to break the back of apartheid and free his people. There was Benjamin Disraeli. He says, nothing can resist the will of a people that will stake even their existence on the extent of their purpose for good. That when you dedicate your life to something, you bring on some powers in the universe that works through you to bring about changes that you would never, ever know unless you have dedicated yourself.
I was reading and spending time with a book called Change or Die. The book proved that most people would rather die than change. I'm not trying to reach the masses. Even the book of life says that the road to life, what it takes to live, to have a life, and what it takes to survive are two different things. The road to life is straight and narrow, and few there be that find it. Why? Because the majority of people not looking for life. They just want to survive and be entertained and have a good time. The poor will always be among you. And Reverend Ike said, the best thing to do for the poor is not to be one of them. Step out of line. You don't want to be like everybody else. Step out of line. You got to be consciously conscious today, because your environment can hypnotize, mesmerize, and paralyze you. You got to hold yourself to a higher standard. People say necessity is the best cure to life. It's the willingness to refuse to accept things as they are. That's what it is. I refuse to accept the life that I had, to accept the life that I had been given. And in this time, where we are, you got to be hungry. You have got to be hungry. See, most people don't understand what's in you, the presence of God that makes you more than a conqueror. That's what's in you, God in you, your hope of glory. To manifest that, you got to step out of line. If you want to be successful, watch successful people and do what successful people do. And so I'm saying to you, you have something special. You have greatness in you. Do what works. I was at this event. This guy spoke and he was so boring, it just put me to sleep. The room was as quiet as a graveyard between funerals. They gave him polite applause. And I said, man, that guy was boring. Well, I didn't know I was seated next to his brother-in-law. And his brother-in-law got a little attitude. Said, well, you ought to be that boring and make the kind of money he made. I said, well, how much he made? He said $5,000. I looked at my watch. I said, he only spoke for about 45 minutes to an hour. He said, that's the kind of money they made. I said, whoa, I can do that. Some of that money's got my name on it. Have you ever seen somebody do something and you say, whoa, if they can do it, I can do it? If you're going to make it today, if our children are going to have a future, we got to do what these young millennials say, stay woke. This is the time to step up. This is the time to be actively engaged in finding ways in which you can use your talents, your abilities, and your skills to build a place for yourself in this new economy. When I was fired from radio, I had to find another way to use my talent, to use my voice, to take care of my family. I had to be willing to learn something new. If you do what works, then that is follow the money. And if you're willing to learn something new, the possibilities are unlimited as to what you can do. You watch successful people and do what they do. Invest in you. Learn something that can help you to begin to make the adjustment to the changes that's taken place in the economy. We have conveniences now that we've never had before. You can order food to your house, organic. Why? Because that's what time it is. When I was a kid, you got on an elevator, there's a person there that asked, what floor, please? And then technology came and it eliminated that person. We're going through something that's always been with us. Creative destruction. Something that was created to take over a certain position and it destroyed what was there. That's been going on for a long time. That didn't just happen. They have technology to teach people how to speak. Yes, I want to see that artificial intelligence tell you their story and touch your heart and tell you the things that they've gone through and the setbacks they've had and what it means to be hungry and how they got fired from the job. You want to position yourself that what you bring is unique. What you bring is indispensable. Technology don't have a heart. Bet on you. Invest in you. Majority of people are not going to make it. Reverend Ike was right. The best thing to do for the poor is not to be one of them. Most people, because they're lazy, because they're not willing to learn, they're hoping that the government will save them because of fear, because of doubt, they're stuck. And many of them waiting on God. And God is waiting on them. There's a difference between working hands and praying lips. I love what Mary McLeod Bethune said. Pray as if everything depends upon God, and work as if everything depends upon you. And so when you look at yourself, look at your goals and dreams, you want to do that which comes naturally to you, something that you can do with your eyes closed. I love helping people. That's what I do. I love making you feel good. I love inspiring you. Challenge yourself. Let me share something with you. You now need it more than ever before, because there are people going through tough times. We were poor, but we didn't know it. We didn't know it. Now, why do I say that you have greatness in you? Life is about evolving. See, we've been trained to do something that we were not meant to be. We've been trained for the mindset of a job, the journey of the broke. And when you retire on 40%, which wasn't enough in the first place. You are supposed to evolve. That's what life is about, evolving. I was a disc jockey. I was evolving. And there I am with my reason. What's your reasons? You got to have something that becomes your rod and staff to comfort you when the tough times come. And they're going to come. And every time life slapped me down, I tried to land on my back, because I knew if I could look up, I can get up. And when I looked up, I saw a vision of my mother. And I said, Mama, I'm getting back up. Mama, you will not go to a nursing home. Mama, I will take care of you. And that got me up off the canvas of life. What's your why? What is it that motivates and inspires you? If you know the why for living, you can endure almost anyhow. Evolve. You're supposed to evolve. You're not supposed to be doing a job for the rest of your life, being one-dimensional. We've been trained to be one-dimensional. We've been trained to what to think, not how to think. Evolve. Given where I came from, I can teach you a thing or two. So it won't take you as long as it took me, because I did not know. I had this in me. You are supposed to evolve. Most people take their greatness, take their talents, take their skills to the cemetery. No, life has no duplicate. You want to live now. You want to take a chance on you. You want to believe in you. Am I making any sense to you? Somebody's waiting on this. Somebody's ready. Somebody's ready to take a chance on themselves. You got to evolve. What's in you? Make a resolve, make a commitment to get in a community of people that are growing. Get a coach that has evolved doing what you want to do, so you don't take the stuff that God put in you to your grave. That's why Miles Rundle kept on saying, rob the cemetery, rob the cemetery, rob the cemetery. You got so much more stuff in you than you realize. You know how many people you've seen and looked in the mirror at that have so much intelligence and abilities and talents and skills they never put to use for themselves? You're here to evolve. You don't know. You got to take a chance on you. Call forth those things that be not as though they were. Why do I speak about this with such conviction? Because I'm living it. Others talk about it. I'm living it. I have done it. Stick a fork in it. It's done. I've done it. I paved the way. I know what it takes to earn your first million. And I did it before the internet, before Twitter, before Facebook, before Instagram, and all these other platforms out here. This is your time. This is your time. There's more opportunity now than ever before. Don't spend time around people who are whining and complaining. You can change your life. And what's the difference between those who are successful and those not successful? Out of every 100 Americans you see, at the age of 25, by the time they reach 65, 1 will be rich, 4 will be independently wealthy, 5 will still be working, 36 will be dead, and 54 will be dependent upon welfare, family, and friends. The average American, by the time they reach retirement age, will have a net cash value of $250. And so this is the time. that you have to take matters in your own hand. What's the birth of hunger in your life? Well, I said, something's got to give. I don't like this life that I'm living. Something's got to give. I'm tired of getting my paycheck and it was gone before I even got it, before I could even cash it. Something's got to give. I'm tired of disguising my voice when creditors call the house. Hello, may I speak to Les Brown, please? Sorry, but he's not here. You sound like Les Brown. Don't you go there, big boy. When a team loses, have a losing season, they don't fire the team, they fire the coach. You want a winning coach. If you want to speak to the world, if you want to learn how to become successful with your communication skills and be able to influence people and create an experience with your story, with your knowledge, with your abilities, or to increase your sales dramatically or attract more customers. Somebody asked me, what was the most difficult thing you've done to earn $1 million? The most difficult thing I've done was to believe that I can do it. That was the most difficult part, and it took me years, given by our environment. And so, according to your environment that you're in, you reflect that level of consciousness. And the people that are able to get out are people that are hungry. The people that are able to escape are people that are investing in themselves and developing themselves, that read and turn the television off. The people that are able to live life on their terms, they're people that feel that my life deserves better and the best is yet to come. So when you think about yourself, this thing called life, it's serious. It's very serious, and most people are not taking it seriously. And this is the time that you got to level up. This is the time that you've got to upgrade your knowledge. You either expand or you are expendable. You've got to go all in and bring it up. You got to live life like you mean it. And my message is not for everybody. That some of you need to just go on past here and go and watch what you watch and do what you do, the dancing, the twerking, and all of that stuff. Go ahead and follow all of that. This is not for the masses. This is for the elect. This is for a few people who have a sense of mission. A few people that says, no, I'm not dying broke. A few people are saying, I'm not accepting life as it is. A few people that are willing to fight for a better future for themselves, for their children, and for their children's children. A few people that said, I've had some failures. I've had some setbacks. I'm going through some stuff right now, but trouble don't last always. I understand what Willie Jolly meant when he said a setback is a setup for a comeback. I've been set up for a comeback. I got comeback power. It's no time to be casual. It's time to be on fire. It's time to increase your energy and your drive and your passion to win.
See, at some point in time, all of us have seen our destiny. I was 6 years old, man by the name of Reverend Ed Graham, of Mount Zion Baptist Church in Miami. I was 6 years old right before Christmas. My mother was ill. We had no food in the house. And this tall, strapping man around 6'1" came to the door with a food basket in his hand. And he says, hello, is this the Brown family? My mother said, yes. I understand that you have 2 sons and a daughter, and that you have no food. Yes, I'm from Mount Zion Baptist Church, and around Christmas time, we pass out food baskets to needy families. Take the basket in behalf of the church and have a nice Christmas. And when he walked out, I said, oh boy, I'd like to be like that man. And I went to his church, and I used to watch him speak, and tall and powerful and dynamic speaker, such eloquence. One of his favorite people was the poet Kipling, who wrote, if you can keep your head when all about you are losing theirs and blaming it on you. A friend of mine, Mildred Singleton, well, she was on a school outing and they took her to a hospital, and she was in the operating room watching from a distance, and she saw someone working or doing eye surgery. She says, that's what I want to do. She's just a teenager, and today she's an ophthalmologist. All of us have seen our destiny at some point in time, and we decided not to listen. We decided to ignore it and say, no, that's not for me. Life came in and slapped us side the head, and we stopped dreaming anymore. The impulse to dream has been slowly beaten out of me through the experience of life. And that's what causes many of us to give up on our volcano. The experiences and the challenges, the defeats, the disappointments, and the failures of life. Then we decide to sell out on our true potential, sell out on living our dreams feeling that we're not good enough, not wanting to make any mistakes, particularly if you're raised with a great deal of criticism. So you've got to be willing to prepare yourself and do the best you can. Take your best shot and let the chips fall where they may. Good enough, they can't handle it. The responsibility is too big. I've been there. And when you feel that way, you begin to unconsciously work against yourself to make sure that you don't get it. You begin to sabotage your own potential in a variety of ways, through procrastinating, through not taking care of business, not giving reports on time, not spending your time wisely, squandering your time looking at a lot of idle television, or spend all of your time lamenting and complaining about how bad things are, using your energy negatively rather than positively, complaining rather than producing. That's what we do when we're afraid of really making it. And when you're afraid of the unknown, when you're afraid to take that leap, when you're afraid to venture out there, that's a real challenge. You're going to die. Excuse me? You're going to die. In case you didn't understand that, you can't get out of life alive. So I'm saying to you, you got 6 months to live. Live your life now. Live your dreams now. Start acting like this is your last day on the planet. See, if we decide that we don't need a pronouncement from some physician to say we have 6 months to a year to live in order to really begin to appreciate the beauty of life, in order to really to make some hard decisions in life. See, we have the power in our hand. Like those little boys, we have that kind of power, that kind of genius, that kind of fortune, that kind of wealth, that kind of happiness, that kind of sense of fulfillment in our hands. We have that. We have that. It's in our hands. It's on us. And nobody can make that decision for us. We can give it away. We can give it to the company store for $400 or $500 a week, or we can exchange it for how people think about us, how they feel about us, and go through life and resign ourselves to be miserable as we go to our graves, looking good for everybody else except to ourselves. Or we can decide, hey, wait, this is the only life that I have, and that is my volcano, and I'm going to take the leap of faith. I'm going to jump in it, and I'm going to handle it, because I know the universe will never give me anything I don't have the capacity to handle. See, I say to you that you've got the power within you to handle any kind of volcano in your life, regardless of how it shows up, regardless of any kind of challenge that you might have in your life. I say to you, you got that in you right now. Where will it come from? Don't worry. If you trust yourself, it will come to you at the right time in which you need it. If you believe and don't doubt, if everything in you, there's something about life, I believe, that when a person resolves within themselves that this is how I give my life, this is how I'm forwarding myself into the universe, I must live what's in me. And all of us have something in us that we must live. And if we don't know what it is right now, we must create it, or we must find it. All of us have this that gives our life that meaning, that value, and that power, and that happiness. That happiness that a lot of people just wouldn't understand why you got to do it and why you got to take that mountain on.
But sometimes we can get staggered by life and take a few blows to the head, and we forget who we are or where we are. Or, like I said, if life knocks you down, try and land on your back, because if you can look up, you can get up. And when you get up, you're getting up with something. You're getting up with faith. You're getting up with determination. You're getting up with a hunger to win, to do some things of how to handle the adversities of life, how to go through some stuff, how to handle when life snatched the rug out from under you, like it has on the planet, and what it is you need to do to rebuild your life, to pick up the pieces and start all over again. And part of it is when you go through a major transition in your life, a major interruption, you need somebody in your life who's not going through it the same way you're going through it. It can help you get through it. I just thought about something. The key to success is look at successful people and do what they do, and look at people who are just living a mediocre life and don't do what they do. Because that's what I did. I watched and I studied people who were successful. I was born in Liberty City. I had friends who lived on Miami Beach that I met. I met them while going to work with my mother, who was doing domestic work, cleaning homes on Miami Beach. And I heard one of the families that she worked for, Mr. Swiderski, say to his son, you want to be successful? He said, watch successful people and do what they do, and you accomplish the things that I have accomplished. And watch poor people and don't do what they do. That was some good advice he gave his son. I overheard the conversation. I took it to heart. I remember reading something about Jackie Onassis. Somebody asked her, if you lost all of your money, how would you get your wealth back? And I love her answer. She said, I would go to the most expensive restaurant and move my table as close as I possibly could to people that are in there having conversations, primarily wealthy people. Order a glass of water and eavesdrop on their conversations. And in 2 years, I will get all my wealth back. Whoa, that's something to think about. See, the reason that a lot of people are panicked right now and feeling anxious, they're listening to the wrong people. You want to be selective of who you listen to right now. You want to get around the right people that lift your spirit, that inspire you, that make you feel good, that make you laugh, and remind you that you have greatness in you, that you can overcome this, that let you know that you were made for this. When you think about life, it's challenging. Yes, it is challenging. Life is for our growth and development. You cannot develop growth without being challenged. Faith not tested can't be trusted. In life, you will always be tested. Stuff's going to happen to you. You're going to lose people. You're going to get sick. Tragedies, accidents, all kinds of stuff will be thrown at you. But it doesn't matter about those things. What matters most is about you, how you handle it. Most people are pessimistic. They look at a difficult situation, they give up and they surrender. They become negative. They can look at opportunities and they'll say, nah, it won't work. An optimist will look at difficult situations and they'll look at obstacles. An optimist will say, you know what? If something is shut down, that means that something else has opened up. Danger, but also opportunity. It's a different perspective. And then they start working to make that happen with that vision that they're holding in their mind. I want you to just get up with a mindset no matter where your situation is right now and say, you know, I'm here. There are people in the cemetery who would love to change position with me. Stuff happened to you and happened to people that you love. You got to check yourself. You got to watch your thinking. And you have to have somebody that can come in and speak to you and help lift your spirit, speak to you, that you can hear them not just in your ear, but in your heart to say, you have greatness in you. You have the power to overcome this. You listen to me right now. A setback is a setup for a comeback. Willie Jolly knows what he was talking about. This is not going to get the best of you. This is a time that we have to validate ourselves. This is a time that we have to surround ourselves with relationships that speak to our spirit of power, of victory, of being reminded, victory is mine. Call forth those things that be not as though they were. There's no time for wimps. No, this thing called life, it's challenging. And so I decided I'm going out smiling. Nobody's figured out how to get out of life alive. And so I do things that allow me to help people, which is my calling, to inspire people, which is my calling, which gives my life a sense of fulfillment. Would you like that? And purpose, would you like that? Of course you would. Why ask that rhetorical question, whatever that means? And all you have to do is look at your life where it is right now and know that your best thinking has produced what you now have. People say, why do you look so young? Because I'm not stressed out. I don't do stress. Kind of life I want. Are you one of those people that don't like doing stress? Let me share something with you. There are opportunities there. Opportunities have not left the planet. Here's something, and listen to me closely. If opportunity does not knock on your door, build a door so it can knock. Because at the end of the day, there are always opportunities. There are always opportunities. How do I build a door? Think about people who are doing what you would like to do and spend some time with them. Invest in yourself. See, at the end of the day, until the pain of staying the same is greater than the pain of change, you will never change.
We're going to look at building another block or putting another block in place for establishing a foundation for living our dreams, discovering our greatness, recognizing our specialness, recreating our lives. Many people become discouraged when they use affirmations, they listen to tapes, they read books, they do all of the things that are required of them to develop their consciousness, and things still don't happen. They affirm, I can do it, yes I can, and yes I will. I'm blessed and highly favored, and nothing happens, and they become frustrated. They become discouraged and disillusioned, and they quit. So we advocated a position that we felt that people could take that will keep them in alignment with themselves and operate and speak it in a spirit of integrity. That as you look at your goal, and sometimes it's just too big of a mental leap from here where you are to where you want to be. And so to say, I can do that might be too much. You might can't see that happening right now. And as a result of your doing that and not ready to accept that, you'll quit prematurely. So we said, establish a benchmark, if you please. A foundation where you can retreat, and every time you say this, it will always be true. Give you something to hold on. And we said that something is, as you look at your goals, it's possible.
Greatness is built one step at a time. Keep moving forward. We appreciate you watching our video to the end. Creating these videos takes a lot of passion and dedication, and your support makes it all worthwhile. If this video inspired you, make sure to subscribe and stay on this journey with us. Your encouragement helps us continue delivering top quality videos just for you. Together, let's make life epic.